The question I have at 248-539-9797, hypothetically, they win, I don't know, 2 more games. Finish once again with 3-win season. Don't you sit there and think, even though the players seem to love them and all that stuff, that we're not going to be a competitive playoff-bound team in year 3, so why am I even going to bother to bring them back? Well, now, that's hypothetically if they only win 2 more games or less.
Some of it has to do, and this is the hard part for us to discern, is what was her understanding of or expectation going into hiring Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell? Did she sit there and look at it and hear from those around the league that she, talked to in the hiring process, like, what is the expectation? Should we be a playoff team in 3 years? Looking at the roster. And at that time, it still had Matthew Stafford on it. It still had, in my opinion, it was the worst roster in the NFL. What are the expectations? If her expectation was that by year 3, we're going to be a playoff team.
Or at least be in the
conversation on the graphic.
A playoff contender.
Yeah. Then it's a long stretch to think that you're going to go from a 3-win team to a 3-win team to a playoff contender. Now, they will have more draft capital. They will be able to spend in free agency. Now, whether they do or not is going to be the question.
Correct.
And she will have, obviously, an update from Brad Holmes as to what their plan is moving forward, as well as Dan Campbell.
And she can also tell Brad Holmes, look, I'm sick of this. Spend some money.
Yeah, and we need more results now.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I just want to go back to what we heard from Dan Campbell. Here's what I think is key, and I've been on this for a while now, and a little bit had to do with the injuries and the way that they were practicing, but when he said moving forward at practice and how they're going to practice, I think that is, to me, he recognizes that we have a young team, and yeah, we have injuries, but we actually have to be out there practicing in pads. I think that is huge. And I don't know what they did this week in terms of practicing in pads or how physical they were, but whether it's the offensive line seeing blitzes and doing things, to me, that identifying that is identifying a major, in the first 5 weeks, a mistake and correcting it.
So if you're the owner, if I'm the owner of the team and they finish up the year with 2 or 3 wins and this 2-year total is 6, I cannot, in good conscience, bring him back. I can't, because I don't think there's going to be enough progress from year 2 to year 3 where I'm not going to do what I did with Patricia and fire him in the middle of the season or whenever, which is something that we agree on, John, that it doesn't do any good.
No, if you're going into the season going, well, if we don't reach these landmarks by week 10, I'm going to fire the coach. Like, if you're going into it with that mindset, then do it now and move on.
Or do it at the end of the season, yes.
Yeah, or you're waiting to the end of the season to say, if they don't make these by week 8, by week 9, by week 10, then at the end of the year, I'm firing the coach. I just don't think there's nothing to be gained by doing it in, at that time of the year, unless, say you do it week 15, 16. You're going to do it anyway in a couple of weeks. Now, all of a sudden, the signal is, the bat signal is sent out. We're looking for that next coach, and we want to start the search now.